In her day job, immunologist Zina Good crunches data on how well immune system cells can be mobilized to battle cancer. But after leaving work at the Stanford Cancer Cell Therapy program, she's back to bottles, baths and bedtime stories as mom to 2 cherubic boys. And that's how she found herself in unfamiliar circumstances, on the patient side of the consultation table for a clinical trial. Good's 3-year-old son, Andel, became Stanford Medicine's first young child to get the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine in April, as clinical trials for the under-12 set get underway in earnest. A week later, Good's younger son, Soren, then 7 months old, was vaccinated as well. We know that at least 4 million children have been infected since the beginning of the pandemic. There have been several thousand hospitalizations and between 300 and 600 children have died, said Dr. Yvonne Maldonado, principal investigator and Taube professor of global health and infectious diseases at the Stanford University School of Medicine. We also know that people who've had COVID-19 can have long-term health effects, and vaccination will probably prevent that from happening, Maldonado said. Children under 18 represent a quarter of the U.S. population. If you really want to suppress the virus, you really want to be able to safely vaccinate children. Pfizer's vaccine already is in use for children 12 and older, and Moderna announced last week that its vaccine is safe and appears effective for that age group as well. That leaves kids under 12 as the final frontier. Getting the dosage right for 3 tiers of small people, ages 5 to 11, 2 to 5, and 6 months to 2 years, is the first order of business. Pfizer's study will involve more than 600 children and is mostly full. In California, trial sites are at the Center for Clinical Trials in Paramount and the Bayview Research Group in the Valley Village section of Los Angeles, as well as at Stanford. Moderna's study is currently recruiting more than 7,000 kids. Trial sites are at the Emmaus Research Center in Anaheim, Family Medical Clinic and Sera Collection Research Services in El Monte, Altman Clinical and Translation Research Institute in La Jolla and the Ventura Pediatric Office of Dr. Carey Chronis. Experts expect emergency use authorizations, which are different from full approvals, to start rolling out from the Food and Drug Administration by fall. The tough questions about who should then get the vaccines: all American children whose parents are willing, just the most at-risk kids, so people at greater risk elsewhere can access vaccine first, will be a matter of intense debate. The problem of COVID-19 in kids is real. I keep trying to stress that, said Dr. Brigham Willis, pediatrics professor at UC Riverside. It's painful when I hear people say, "Oh, kids. They don't really get COVID. They're fine." Too often, Willis said, they're not.